And action. Hi, my name is Miah Klein. I'm a surf photographer, one of the featured artists here at Bliss House. As you can see, the gallery is pretty amazing, a lot of amazing artists, and just super privileged to be a part of it. Today I'm going to be walking around showing some of the pieces on the wall that I've shot over the years, and you can kind of see what I was thinking while I was shooting these pictures, and maybe you might learn something. Enjoy. This image is called Sand Blankets. It was captured in 2017, and it was during the Pipe Masters. Actually, the finals. It was John Florence and Jeremy Flores. John just won his second world title, and Jeremy actually got him in the final, so Jeremy won. So they had the awards, and I'm also looking for something creative to shoot, kind of the awards, ceremony. And I was like, well, I'll just throw the drone up there. So I throw the drone, trying to get some angles. But then I noticed the sand was building out there at Beach Park, just off the reef at Pipe, and some weird refractions were happening. And so I actually got distracted and was shooting some art while the ceremony was taking place. And I was more excited for this than actually Jeremy Flores winning everything. So that's how that thing was created. I think that's the great thing about photography is you go into maybe a project with a certain vision, thinking that you're going to capture something a certain way, and then this gift happens kind of unexpectedly. And that's kind of why I do it. It's always about the surprises, and this was a real happy surprise. So I'm excited how it turned out. And yeah, there you go. Sand blankets. It looks good on the wall. This image here on the wall is Ridges, and this was shot at Wedge, just up the street there in Newport Beach. And Wedge has been shot so much, sometimes you go out there and there's more photographers shooting wave art than there are surfers, which is kind of wild. Back in the day when I was shooting film, there'd just maybe a handful of us and a lot of bodyboarders, and now everything's changed, and it's kind of neat because I think all these surf photographers and wave art guys are really pushing the level on trying to find something different. They're up there like right at sunrise and getting amazing stuff. And so this day, actually, it was really pretty in the morning, kind of offshore, 2017, I think in April. And so it was beautiful, and it was really crowded. But then everyone left. I think the wind changed. But then soon after that, once everyone left, it just got like oily glassy, like dead glass. And that's my favorite time to capture wave art, because you get just the lines are just so smooth. I just love it. And so this was just, I think, a little bit of backwash. And the wave wasn't that big, maybe like 2-3 feet, but it was so glassy. And this little moment happened, and I got it, turned it black and white. And I just love the texture of it. Like you'd even see kind of some of the bubbles. They're just kind of floating. But it just water moving. There's something about it that is just kind of calming and relaxing. And that's why I love shooting it, actually. It's my happy place. So yeah, Ridges. This next image is called Watercolor. Another image that was shot just down the street at Balboa Pier. I'm always looking for new angles, new spots. Balboa isn't really a new spot, but when there's Wedge that's really crowded, sometimes you want to mix it up. And so I was up on the pier. It was a decent sized swell, and it was first light. And I want to believe there's like clouds that were kind of on the horizon that created that pink reflection, which is always special. That's kind of rare when that happens. And so I was slowing the shutter just to have a little bit of motion on the wave. And I was so excited. I was probably there for an hour and shot hundreds of images. But this one everything just kind of came together with the little lip curling over. And it just looks like a painting because it's not frozen. There's just a little bit of motion, which creates that kind of like artistic look that I'm always trying to do, is make it a little more art than not. And so I love the colors, and there you go. All right, this next piece is called City View. It was shot in San Francisco just last year, in 2022, in the winter time. And I feel like that's the best time of the year up there. I don't know if I'm spilling the beans for anybody who lives up there, but it's when these big winter swells come, and then when that high pressure hits and those offshores blow all day, you get these corduroys like out to sea. And so there's a couple viewpoints where you can get the city and the wave in the same frame. And so I'm always, when I'm up there, if I'm shooting action, it's kind of hard because you're kind of far from the waves sitting on the beach or on the dunes. And so I'm always trying to find that lineup at first light before the surfers wake up. And so this particular day, I went up on this hill and there were peaks everywhere, but this one just happened to line up perfectly with the way the city was in the foreground and that little island in the background. And I like trying to compose my image a little bit. And so this one is special to me because it all just kind of came together. And I like that morning light. The morning light is always special too. It's not direct sun on the wave, so there's not a lot of contrast, but then you get that horizon line filled with color. And that's always a neat little element that is nice for images. And it's gorgeous up there. It's cold, but it's definitely worth it. I feel like it was 10 years ago maybe, the first time I was up there. And the first time I was just amazed at just how many waves are there. I mean, it's just a giant beach break. It's almost like a Puerto Escondido, but on steroids as far as the paddle out goes. And so the people who surf out there are gnarly, and the waves are gnarly, and the homeless people are gnarly, and everything's gnarly up there. And but then you go to gnarly, and then you get special stuff too. So high risk, high reward. City view. This next piece is another shot from San Francisco. It's called Infinity. Growing up in class, you know, when you're bored and all you want to do is be at the ocean and surf, you know, you would doodle and you draw pictures of waves, and it's always as kind of the meme of, hey, if this is perfection, like waves to the horizon line. And when you see it in reality, you don't even know it's possible. And so again, San Francisco is pretty dynamic for seeing that. Whether you catch a wave, if you try and surf, is a different story. But as a photographer, it's always fun to find things that are in your imagination and their reality. And this is, I believe it's after sunset. And that's my favorite time to shoot, is after the sun goes down or just as the sun's coming up. Just the colors are all soft and beautiful. And so I believe this was in the evening time, and you just got that last glow, that last little light on the horizon from the sun, and everything turned kind of purple, and it just created something special. And so this is one of my favorites, actually, just because it shows the corduroy, it shows all those waves just stacking up and for like endless. And as a surfer, that's what you want. You don't want to be waiting for waves. You want to be surfing waves. And so this wave, or this image, kind of captures that vibe and that feeling that us surfers appreciate and love. Yeah. And I think I like just the aesthetic, the abstracts. You know, shooting for magazines. Growing up and trying to get published, it was always about shooting, you know, high action and the right people on the right wave. But as I've grown up and matured, the images that really resonate with me more are the ones that are empty and there's nobody on the wave. And then I found out about panning with speed blur, which is slowing the shutter and kind of going with the motion of the wave. And actually, the person who turned me on to that was Jason Kenworthy. I saw this photo that he took, 10, 12 years ago, and it like blew my mind. Like, how did you do that? And so doing some experiments, and with digital now, you can experiment more and get instant gratification, and was able to kind of figure it out. And so now that's one of my favorite ways to shoot lineups, is just put a little motion on it. And when you have an infinite number of waves coming in and you put a little motion, it just creates this effect that is incredible. So that's why I call it Infinity, because there's a lot of waves. And thank you, Jason Kenworthy, for the inspiration. And there you go. Nice, colorful images for your wall. So this image was captured in South Sumatra. It takes forever to get there, and it's 100% worth it. And that's the thing with these surf spots, is everything's, not everything, but so many waves have been done and all the angles have been seen. And so it's neat to go to somewhere a little more remote, a little more rogue. And this was last spring, early summer and it's called Jimmy's Left. And I don't know if it's really a secret spot, so I think it's okay to say Jimmy's Left. But it's this big kind of reef pass, and we got it pretty good size, maybe a solid 10 feet. Absolutely double overhead, top to bottom barrels on a sketchy reef. But there's no one around, and there's palm trees everywhere. And so we were just checking it and seeing which wave we should go out and surf and shoot. And of course, when this wave came through, it's like, all right, get the wax on the board, we're out there. And so that was a really fun trip. I've never seen so much rain in my life. We got stuck in like this little flood, which was pretty wild, like a little lightning storm. And that was fun. Good noodles there. And Jimmy, I don't know if he's a real person or if it's a made-up name, but Jimmy's a good name. And Jimmy's Left is pretty special. So get out there, go find it. So if you want to see more of my images, you can check out blisshouse.com. There's a lot more images on there, but these are a few of the selects that really are meaningful to me. And it's pretty amazing, this gallery space. There's just so many talented artists, and whether you're a skater or surfer, just like art, there's painters, it's just the whole gambit. And so check it out, you'll be impressed. There's, biasly, I would love for you to, purchase my art, but at the same time, just to be a part of this creativity is pretty amazing, and you're gonna like it. Check it out, blisshouse.com.